The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Commander Lyra stepped onto the crystalline platform, a massive shadow moving behind her. The assembled delegates, representatives from 47 star systems, recoiled in their seats. Some reached for weapons that weren't there. Others triggered personal shield generators that flickered uselessly against the perceived threat. The creature that followed Lyra stood 3 meters tall, its obsidian scales catching the light like fractured glass. 6 eyes arranged in pairs along its elongated skull swept across the council with predatory intelligence. Rows of serrated teeth lined a jaw that could crush titanium. Its 4 arms ended in claws that had once torn through starship hulls. It was a Drav. The Drav. Perhaps the only one still alive in this sector of the galaxy. "Esteemed Council," Lyra began, her voice steady despite the palpable fear radiating from the assembled aliens. "I present my companion and ally Drav." The Vrelian ambassador, his blue-gray skin now pale with terror, finally found his voice. "Commander Lyra, have you lost your mind? That is an apex predator." Lyra allowed herself a small smile. "I'm aware." "You don't understand," the Thessian delegate interrupted, her crystalline form pulsing with agitated colors. "The apex predators nearly destroyed our ancestors. They hunted us across 3 systems. Entire colonies vanished. Fleets disappeared. We spent centuries eradicating them, and even then, we could only drive them to extinction through orbital bombardment of their breeding grounds. A genocide you're quite proud of," Lyra observed coolly. The chamber erupted in protests and denials. Lyra waited, one hand resting casually on Drav's lower arm, a gesture that caused several delegates to gasp audibly. The creature's massive head lowered slightly, bringing one pair of eyes level with hers. To the council, it looked like a predator preparing to strike. But Lyra saw something else: curiosity, patience, and perhaps amusement. "How?" The question came from Cathren, the Zephoni military commander, his 4 mandibles clicking in agitation. "How does a human stand beside an apex predator and live?" Lyra's expression softened slightly. "By seeing what you refused to see. By listening when you only heard screams." She gestured, and a holographic display materialized above the platform. It showed a barren moon, the site of an illegal mining operation she'd been sent to investigate 6 months earlier. "I found Drav in a cage," Lyra continued. "He was the last survivor of a group captured by poachers, members of your own species, Ambassador Cathren, who planned to sell them to private collectors. He'd watched the others die, starved, beaten, experimented on. The hologram shifted, showing the carnage inside the facility. When I arrived, he'd broken free. The poachers were dead. He was wounded, enraged, and trapped in a collapsed section of the mine. Any sane person would have sealed that section and left." "Then why didn't you?" the Vrelian ambassador demanded. "Because he was singing." The word hung in the air like an impossible equation. Singing. Apex predators didn't sing. They killed. They hunted. They destroyed. "It wasn't a sound I recognized at first," Lyra admitted. "But I'm human. We have a long history of curiosity getting us killed. So I listened. And I realized it was a mourning song. He was singing for his dead companions." Drav shifted beside her, and this time the council saw something different in the movement. Not aggression, but grief. Ancient and profound. "Humans have a saying," Lyra continued. "Walk a mile in someone's shoes before judging them." We also have a history, a long and often bloody history, of misunderstanding predators. We hunted wolves to near extinction because we feared them. We killed sharks because we thought they were mindless killers. We destroyed entire species because we couldn't see past our own terror. She placed her hand flat against Drav's chest, feeling the triple heartbeat beneath the scales. "But we learned. We learned that wolves mourn their dead, that sharks are more afraid of us than we are of them, that most creatures kill only to survive, not from malice. The apex predators attacked our colonies," the Thessian delegate protested. "Because you built those colonies on their breeding grounds." Drav spoke for the first time, his voice a deep rumble that seemed to vibrate through the chamber itself. "Because you poisoned our waters. Because you hunted us for sport." The council erupted again, but Lyra raised her hand. "I spent months with Drav. I learned his language. Yes, they have language. Complex, beautiful language. I learned their history. Do you know what I discovered? The apex predators never attacked first. Every conflict began when your species encroached on their territory." "They're monsters," Cathren shouted. "They're survivors," Lyra corrected. "Like humans." We understand survival. We understand what it means to be feared and hunted. We've been both predator and prey in our own evolution. She pulled up another hologram, this one showing data streams and complex calculations. Drav has a doctorate in quantum mechanics. He was a scholar before your people destroyed his world. He writes poetry. He builds things. He mourns. He hopes. He dreams. The chamber had gone quiet again. The delegate stared at the creature, the person, standing beside Lyra with new eyes. Humans didn't tame Drav, Lyra said softly. We befriended him. We saw past the teeth and claws to the intelligence and soul beneath. That's not power, that's empathy. That's the willingness to question our fears and look for common ground. She turned to face Drav fully, and the massive creature's 6 eyes focused on her with something that could only be called affection. You want to know humanity's real power? Lyra asked the council. It's not that we can tame apex predators. It's that we refuse to accept that anyone must be our enemy forever. We believe in second chances, in redemption, in the possibility that today's monster might become tomorrow's friend. Drav's rumbling voice filled the chamber again, this time softer. Lyra found me at my worst, broken, enraged, ready to die fighting. She offered mercy when she could have offered death. She offered understanding when she had every right to offer fear. He paused, all 6 eyes sweeping across the council. That is not power. That is humanity. The council sat in stunned silence as the implications settled over them. For centuries they had defined strength as the ability to destroy threats. But here stood a human who had shown them a different kind of strength. The courage to reach across the abyss of fear and extend a hand in friendship. The Vrelian ambassador finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. What do you want from us, Commander? Lyra smiled. To reconsider what you think you know about monsters, and to remember that every predator was prey to something once, even us. As she and Drav left the chamber walking side by side, the council began the difficult conversation that would reshape galactic policy for generations to come. Behind them, a human and an apex predator proved that the greatest power in the universe wasn't the ability to conquer, it was the wisdom to understand.